Remember this thing in show business happened.
This thing of ours.
This thing of ours. When you didn't have to drive to a studio and work with the segment producer and have your bald spot covered and, wear free clothes that, Zinnia is giving you. And then you had to go. And then you didn't have to do that anymore because you do a podcast from your house with a decent microphone.
Yep.
And now we're back on TV.
Yeah.
Without stylists, I appreciate that.
We keep talking about this, how I started this 5 years ago because Adam said, do a podcast. And I said, why would I do a podcast when I've been on TV for 30 years? We start doing it as a joke. It becomes big. Then they start to say, is it okay if we put cameras in there? And I said, fine. And then they said, is it okay if we occasionally do 5 a year in front of a live audience in big theaters because people like it? And I said, okay. And then they said, is it okay if we add a band? I said, you fuckers, we're right back.
And listen, we're going to need a warm-up comic.
It's going on NBC.
It's going to be on NBC at 12:35.
It is.
All right, I want to make sure I get you out of here because we have a lot to...
I got plenty of time.
I'll give you a ride home. I know where you live.
By the way, have you been to Conan's house?
Yes.
We have competitions in the neighborhood. Who has the longest house?
Oh.
You mean as you're driving up the street, which house takes the longest to drive past the start of the property line and the end of the property line?
And you guys each think it's your own?
I think you've got like 2.5 miles of property line.
I do. You do. A Cessna can land, and a Cessna has landed.
Now it used to be. Jerry Lewis used to live on the block.
Did he really?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
I won't. Are we on yet? So
No.
Okay. So I won't say what the address is. But at one point we were at because I saw this old thing and I ran. You meet Jerry Lewis and you think, first of all, that's a surreal experience.
Yeah.
All into it. So, hey Tom, my God, Jerry knows my name.
Isn't that crazy?
And I saw the bosom buds. And. And
why can't we use this?
You can. Go ahead. Go ahead. We're using it.
Okay.
And I said, is it true or not? Did you live in our neighborhood? And he said, the number of the house. And it's a red brick white house. And it is almost as long as yours is. And I just think, because I saw this, he was really into like making home movies and stuff like that. And he used to do kooky things. And I saw this one thing. Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh drove up and did kooky things on their lawn as they were coming into a party at his house. So how's that for a neighborhood?
He would make films. Yeah. He would make films. I mean, going back to like the early 50s, he would make films with all of his friends.
That's right.
And, but I didn't realize he lived in our neighborhood.
Right there. And, he had a radio station and I think he had restaurants and stuff. He had a podcast for a while.
A true sign.
Very early version.
A true sign that it's over.
I was out once, and by the way, you find this thing. I was at like a thing. They were showing one of his movies and we all kind of like went in order to vet him, celebrate him a little bit. And someone got up, he had a question and answer, and somebody asked him about the video tap, the world famous video tap, because he was directing movie. He was one of the first guys to star in and direct his own movies. And he had to have a video tap, meaning that he was the first guy to put a TV monitor matching what the camera saw. So there was a cable coming from the camera and ran into a TV, and everybody thought, this is amazing. He said, it was, but I didn't tape. What do you mean? Well, I had no playback. I just had to look when I was doing, and I had the thing with the stuff, and it looks good, and now let's do it. But then I do it, and I couldn't see it until the dailies. And that's fine. And I said, actually, now, if he had invented videotape, he would have gotten the Nobel Prize along with everything else. He would have got it all. Jerry Lewis. How did we get talking about Jerry Lewis?
What do you mean, how did we? You.
Yeah.
Because it's the neighborhood.
Yes, we live in this neighborhood, and I take a hike. I sometimes go by your property.
Right.
I've thought about, there's a wall.
Yes.
I think I could get over that wall.
You know what? You could so tall. You might be able to crawl through the razor wire if you know how to do that.
You scared the hell out of me. I was on a bike with a friend of mine. Right. We won't get into the exact, but taking a bike ride with a good friend of mine, Brad, and we're going up this. Yeah, maybe. And Brad Paisley. suddenly this car, like kind of a Jeep SUV thing, starts coming, and all of a sudden the window comes down, and you lean out the window and start yelling at me.
I yelled at
and
you.
you start doing some bit, which was really funny, doing a bit, and then my friend was like, "That was Tom."
It happens all the time.
But you know what? It was like laughing, like your head just came out of a
knock knock.
Yeah, or it was like Batman when he was climbing up the side of a building and suddenly a window would open and it's
It's Jerry Lewis.
It's Jerry Lewis. It's Tom Hanks. I thought I live the most amazing life where a darkened window can come down and a goofy Tom Hanks can pop out and yell at me when I'm on a bike.
But think about everybody else, because on that there's a lot of people that come there to walk that you know, it's a long line, and they're all kind of like bicycle weenie geeks, you know, guys with $6,000 mountain bikes saying, "On your left," you know, as they're going up and coming down. But they're going to see you. I mean, you're as tall as Big Bird, for crying out loud. And they're going to say, "I believe I saw Conan O'Brien struggling up the hill."
Have you heard that halfway up that ridge, there's this place that apparently in the late 30s, you probably know about this, right?
Absolutely true.
In the late 30s, some people who were pro Hitler and pro what the Nazis were doing.
So Nazis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
They,
as a lay historian, I'll come in and get the record straight.
Okay.
When the time
They were
comes.
members of the party.
There were people who were sympathetic to that cause in the late 30s before America was in the war. And they purchased a piece of land. Am I correct?
You are correct, sir.
That they thought would be a place that the Fuhrer would like to hang when and if he comes to America, maybe because he conquered it. I don't know the whole story. Do you know the story?
It was owned by the German Bund. And there was a period of time, a German Bund. The Bund was essentially, hey, we're all Germans, we all live America, let's form a fraternal organizations like other nationalities do, you know. And I'm going to hope that before they found out just how bad Hitler was, you know, but there, I swear, I have seen photographs of like a 4th of July in the 1930s up there with a fireworks thing, and they would have, no lie, a picture of the founding fathers and a picture of Adolf Hitler, an American flag and a Nazi flag, the German Nazi flag. And they were saying, our country is coming back, et cetera, et cetera. And I just hope that maybe you can get away with that in 1930, you know, but it continued along. And in fact, it is now a scout camp, or it had been for a while. And I have gone there to scout a location, and there was like the main lodge, you know, there's tents and stuff like that. But there is a main lodge that honestly looks like, you know, a German Alpine chalet.
Yeah.
That all you have to do is paint it red, put a couple of Haken cruisers on there, and you are right back in Naziville, USA.
So this is a place that in our neighborhood, you go up there's this big hill and
Did I say Jerry Lewis also lived in this neighborhood?
And why did you choose to live here, sir?
Listen, we have these meetings that are none of your business.
Right.
No, but this was my story, which is that that was something I've always heard, and then occasionally you'll find that it mentioned that this piece of land lives, and that maybe, and some people get the story. They get it wrong, and they think that Hitler spent time there, like in his board shorts, looking out at the Pacific. You know,
he did come out for pilot season 1 year, and he needed a place to stay.
6 pilots, didn't get one of them.
No, not a one.
There was almost a 7th friend, but anyway. But I'm with my friend once, my same friend Brad that you saw. I'm grinding up that hill on our bikes to just try and get to this. It's very steep in parts. We're grinding along, and then we're these 2 women, like blonde, 22-year-old, I swear to God, wearing like bikini tops. And they just looked like they were just come from a sorority party. They flag us down like they were in trouble. And I said, "What is it?" And they went, "Do you know where the Hitler camp is?"
Yeah, there you go.
"Where's the Hitler camp?"
About that.
And I went, "Oh, ladies, well, all right."
Wow.
Like, God, he's
Still pulling in the trim, that Addy Hitler. My God.
Still pulling in the trim?
I know what?
Jesus.
wow.
Gourley.
Jesus, Matt.
Wow.
Come on.
Now
My
we
God.
are making light of a very, very dark period, without a doubt.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, you don't want to say, yeah. Come on up. How do you get to Conan's house? Oh well, if you've gone too far, if you hit the Hitler camp,
Right.
make a U-turn at the Hitler camp.
When you get to the Mussolini cul-de-sac,
Yeah.
take a left.
Yeah, right past
no,
the triangle. But yeah, that's up there, and yeah.
The
There you go.
I'm going to switch gears here a little bit,
Let's see how you do this.
and I want to talk about the Japanese and Jerry Lewis and 1944.